kissing is good. We don't kiss enough as a people. Kissing is very, very good.
To be talking to you, Belladonna. Should have taken a break, not an Oxford comma. Take what I want when I wanna. And I want you.
Alright, back again. So I decided to start a new series on my channel, which I titled Things I Love. Just because see, the thing about me is that there are so many weird things I love about books, like that determine, okay, how do I put this? You already know that, okay, a great cover might interest me in picking up a book, an amazing synopsis, certain tropes, definitely things I easily pick up. So those are the clear-cut things I love that would make me pick up a book. This series is about the other little things that might convince me to bump up a book on my TBR, or that might convince me to even pick up the book outright. Things that other people might not necessarily go for, but which I really always pay special attention to, because let's be honest, there's that something that we all look for when we pick up a book that is as unique to us as our reading experience. And one of those things for me are book dedications. I love book dedications. Book dedications can take me from, oh, I had no interest in picking up this book, to I need to read this book immediately. They've even been able to save a book for me. Like, I might not have really necessarily loved the story as much, but the book dedication will just help me give it that extra half a star bump in my ratings, just because I connected so much with the message that the author had to say before they started writing the story. And once again, I admit, I know not everybody necessarily actively searches for book dedications, but I do. They are my weakness, and I decided that I'm going to use them to kick off this entire series, starting with Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz. Now, I'm not going to go into details about the synopsis, because we've already established that synopsis and a great cover usually does get me to buy a book. But what seals the book for me, other than how naked they look under the cover, which, now that I think about it, that entire video totally should have gone into this series. I might just make another video just because of that. But anyway, the dedication in For Dead Queens says, "To the queen in all of us, may she be brave, self-confident, opinionated, unapologetic, and determined to achieve her dreams." Like, tell me that does not make you think, that's so good, I want to read that, because that was legitimately my thought when I read this. Then there's the dedication in What Sonny Saw in the Flames by Nnedi Okorafor, which once again you'll probably recognize as Akata Witch. Here is the dedication that Nnedi wrote in this book, which I loved. She said, "To my mother, who was terrified of masquerades as a kid and still is, this book dances with them. Enjoy." And I just, this already gives you an idea of the type of book you're reading. Like, see, it's the same thing with Four Dead Queens. That dedication gives you an idea of the kind of women you're going to encounter when you read that book. This dedication gives you an idea of the mysticism and magic and vibrancy that is going to be this story, because masquerades are pretty colorful, right? They're like, I don't think there's actually any Nigerian child that has not at some point in time seen a masquerade, whether on television or in person. I've seen several in person, and the amount of power in that moment, in that experience, and the magic that just, the fact that it just seems like there's this unveiling of something that separates the physical world from the spiritual world. It's just present in that being, and this dedication just had me smiling, but at the same time gave me an idea of the type of world I was going to meet when I read the book, and it did not disappoint. Then there's the dedication of The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, where Roshani says, "For a man who said, 'Say something cool about me.' Nope." That made me laugh. Like, I read that and I'm like, for a man who said, "Say something cool about me." Nope. Like, I'm just like, that is so fucking petty and so mean, but at the same time so hilarious. Like, that was funny. I was like, that was funny. And I had a blast. I had a blast reading this book. So it definitely puts me in the don't necessarily take things too seriously mode, but also this is interesting and funny and slightly witty and slightly sarcastic, and I found that and more in this book. So yeah, the dedication definitely did convince me. Like that dedication, I definitely read the book immediately I read that, and I did not regret it. It was so funny. It was so funny. Then there's the dedication in Sorcery of Tones by Margaret Rogerson, which I just started reading. I'm currently on the second chapter actually, and this just says, for all the girls who found themselves in books, and I've never felt so seen. Actually, I have, but this just, I remember reading that and just smiling and thinking that this book was for me. Like certain books you read and it just seems so personal. And I know that is how I'm going to feel at the end of this, that I'm going to imagine myself as Elizabeth. But also, even whilst reading this, I know that Margaret was thinking of me and people like me when she wrote it. And that just makes me feel extra special and even more connected to the story. And also gives me the inkling that Elizabeth would love books just as much as I do. And that made me so happy. The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owens. Now this got me at the author's letter because this was my Fairy Loot exclusive, and the author letter that came with this book is just so beautiful. But the dedication says, to everyone whose mercy is demanded and who dreams instead of teeth. And to my parents, no, you're not in this one. The cat had first dibs. Like that is so many layers / strata of cool. Like first, to everyone whose mercy is demanded and who dreams instead of teeth. Like, if it is that people have taken you for granted or assumed that they can strong arm you into certain decisions, reading that dedication will make you feel several feet tall, because you're like, this book speaks to me. And if this is an example of the kind of person, the kind of character that Fee, who is the main character of this book, if that's the type of person that Fee is, I just know I'm going to love her and this book so much. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the book dedication and the author's letter convinced me that I want to read this book this month. I wasn't planning on reading it before. I wasn't planning on reading it this month before, but after I read that, I absolutely had to bump it up my TBR. It was just what I had to do. Then there's the dedication for A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which never fails to get to me. It says, for the ones who dream of stranger worlds. Simple, succinct, but at the same time, it gave me the okay, so this book is going to be about multiple worlds, which I already knew. But at the same time, it just, as someone who, as a kid, really, really, really wanted to be caught up in a story, wanted to travel to a strange new world and discover new places and also new facets of who I was, this just called back to that magic that I had in abundance as a child, and adulthood was striving to just drain out of me. And just, it helped me see that this was going to be a very special book and a very special series to my dreaming of strange worlds heart, and I loved it. Then there's the dedication of Jabez the Boys by Mary Weber, which came in my Fairy Loot March box. I'm not gonna lie, this was one book that I had no plan on reading. I didn't plan on reading it. I was like, oh, I could read it another time. There were other books I wanted to read until I read the dedication, which was so long, but I loved it. It says, for the girl who's been told to quiet down, calm down, sit down, or just leave it to the men, this is for you. And to those who told us such things, watch us rise. Words, I can't compute it. Like, I had chills the first time I read that. I still have chills every time I read that. I still have chills right now. It's just, that dedication hit me. It was like a punch to the gut, and I'm just, wow. As someone who has been told those statements all my life, this was a kick, but in the best of ways, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Then there's the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, which I can't wait to read this series. I can't wait to read this book. If anything, because of the dedication. For it says, for all those who have to fight for the respect that everyone else is given without question. Let me reread that so it sinks in. She says, for all those who have to fight for the respect that everyone else is given without question. That has been my life so many times. That dedication, I felt that. I felt that on so many levels. I felt that especially when you're in minority, that dedication, it hit. It definitely hit, and I'm just in awe. And also in love with N.K. Jemisin. But is anybody surprised? I'm already in love with her, and I haven't even read the book yet. All I read was that dedication, and I was like, yes, wow. I'm still shooketh. I'm still absolutely shooketh. Night of Cake and Puppet by Laini Taylor. And this was one of the light-hearted dedication that just made me smile. And it's simple. It says, this book is dedicated to kissing. You heard that right. This book is dedicated to kissing. As someone who loves to kiss and has not been kissed in so long, that dedication, I felt that. I felt that. I wish my whole life could be dedicated to kissing, because kissing is good. We don't kiss enough as a people. Kissing is very, very good. The fact that I have an entire book dedicated to kissing, the fact that I have a very pretty, gorgeous book dedicated to kissing, just, it makes life so much better. So much better. And then finally, God's Grave by J. Christoph. This dedication, I burst out laughing so hard. And it's such a marked difference from the one that comes before it. It just says, for my enemies, I couldn't have done it without you. And if that does not make you laugh, and also give you an idea of the type of person, the kind of brilliant mind that gave us the Nevernight series, I don't know what is. Yeah, that's the end of the very first episode for Things I Love. Yeah, it's weird, it's kooky. You all know I like to make some weird art series. Like, my book to drama series is still there, which I really, really love, but I'm certain that nobody is surprised about this. But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun filming this. I had a lot of fun choosing which book dedication I wanted to share with you. If you stayed to the end of this video, I am so thankful. Like, thank you. But also, please tell me one book dedication you read that hit you in the best of ways. Like, a book dedication you read and loved. I think book dedications don't get enough love, and I just want to show them some love with this episode. So yeah, if you like this video, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.
My strange addiction, my doctors can't explain my symptoms.